What's going on YouTube? So Toyota, of course, has a very extensive lineup of crossovers, and one of the world's best-selling vehicles is the Toyota Corolla, and this is the Toyota Corolla Cross. Now this is an updated version for 2026. They've made some big enhancements, which you can tell right off the bat just from the exterior, but there's also a lot more than meets the eye. So let's go ahead and take a detailed first look. So let's go ahead and start things off with the exterior design. Now, Toyota was kind enough to provide both versions of this model, hybrid and the gas powertrain, because that does make a big difference when it comes to the overall design. So with this refresh, your sport trims will be on the hybrid and your rugged trims will be with the gas powertrain. So kind of starting out over here with our XLE, you can see this has a much more pronounced grille, more squared off, and kind of puts it in line with some of the more rugged Toyota products like the RAV4 and 4Runner. Over here on this side, we have the XSE. This one is going to have some kind of shared characteristics with like our Camry XSE, where we've got the grille being finished in the body color, the honeycomb texture going on through here. Definitely looks a lot sportier. So you can kind of just pick whichever character matches with your lifestyle as well as your preference in terms of appearance. Now, turning to our headlights, of course, as you can see, we have a standard full LED unit on board. It is a projector LED on this top trim, and we have an updated daytime running light across the top. We also have LED fog lights down there at the bottom, which is becoming increasingly rare in this segment. Moving on to the wheels, your sizing is 17 or 18-inch alloys. We have a couple new designs. This is one of the new designs. It's a full gloss black finish for our XSE. I think it looks really, really good, especially with the Cavalry Blue. This is a new paint color for 2026, and it's available on all the trims. It looks really nice on this XSE and the black accents, including up here on our mirrors. And of course, as you would expect, you do have available blind spot monitoring on all but the base trim levels.
Now at the side of the Corolla Cross, our overall vehicle length is 176.1 inches, which is a pretty good size for this segment. And as far as design touches are concerned, you will notice we have blacked out window surrounds, a little bit of chrome on the top, and we do have available two-tone roof options. That's going to be on the SE and XSE trim levels. I think it really spices up the overall design look of this Corolla Cross. I certainly would pick that choice. Now, moving around to the rear design of the Corolla Cross, there's going to be less changes back here than in the front. However, I don't think Toyota needed to change much. It's a pretty classy design, not too much going on. We have a spoiler up top. We have a wiper down below. Additionally, we have blacked out Toyota badging as well as our XSE branding. I think that adds a lot of contrast. As far as our taillight units are concerned, your X trims are going to get you the up-level taillight unit, which will give you LED brake light portion. I'm not sure about the other elements. I would have to look at it later on. We are on a very severe time crunch here today. Dropping down to the lower fascia, this is all going to be a matte black plastic, and as far as your tow rating is concerned, it comes in at 1,500 pounds. Now, as far as your safety systems are concerned, Toyota doesn't mess around. Even though this is a very affordable SUV, they're giving you every single active safety feature as standard equipment. That will be in their Safety Sense Suite 3.0. But guys, there are some significant upgrades when it comes to the interior technology that we can't wait to dive into. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we have reviewed over 2,000 vehicles at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from humble to high-end, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. Now let's move to the interior. You'll have a smart entry system on all but the base L trim level. And let's take a look inside this interior. So just like with the outside, the changes aren't necessarily radical, but they are nice and beneficial changes, which you will appreciate as an owner of this vehicle. Now, beginning with our seats, you've got some updates here. Of course, there's going to be a broad spectrum of materials. You get the Softex leatherette if you choose one of the X trim levels, including this XSE. We have a lot of blue accenting running through the black seat. There is a brand new color option though on the XLE. It's called Portobello. It's a very rich looking interior. I think it's going to elevate the space of the Corolla Cross to a new place that it's never been before. Now, in terms of our seats, you will find a power adjusting seat if you choose one of the X trim levels, and that will give you two-way lumbar support as well. And let's climb inside so that we can get into the specific details. Now, as always, we need to check the overall material quality of the interior. It's not changing a whole lot from what it was previously. You'll continue to find leatherette across our armrest portion, soft touch plastic at the top with a stitching detail. Moving to the upper dashboard, this is a hard touch plastic, but the center section has a leatherette with a stitch detail. And then down here on our console, we have a little bit of piano black accenting. I'll talk more about the new design of this in just a second. Now, as a prototype vehicle, we don't have the keys to fire it up, but we can still get into some of the individual details. And I'll begin with our gauge cluster. So as you can see, this example comes with a full digital cluster. It's got a redesigned kind of housing overall. You have some reconfigurability inside of that, but you're not going to get a head-up display or anything like that. Obviously, this is a subcompact crossover. It's very affordable, so you're going to have to step up to the RAV4 if you want a feature like that. As far as the steering wheel, nice leather wrapped on board, manual tilt and telescoping. We also do have steering wheel heating though, which is a nice touch. But now let's get into this new center console area. Like I was saying, they have redesigned this, and they said they have enhanced the overall storage and functionality of it. We'll take a look first at the actual center console. This looks the same as it was before. It's really small, just a little felt lining down at the bottom, but you just kind of have that little square right there. However, your cup holders seem to be larger this year, and then kind of in this squared off housing, we've got a much bigger center bin here. It actually has space for two phones side by side. On this side is the wireless phone charging pad. This side is just a extra storage cubby. We've got a new shifter this year, kind of more premium style with the leather boot. Of course, you have features like a backup camera, and you also have electronic parking brake with brake hold. Right in this area, you have a few controls, including the heated steering wheel I mentioned earlier, and then this right here are heated seats. This is now standard on your X trim levels for 2026 model year. As far as the climate controls, they look to be the same as before, a single zone automatic climate system on your upper tier examples. You got your vents right through there. This though is new. So what we got is a 10.5-inch display. This is going to be now standard on your X trim levels. It's the largest display they've ever offered on a Corolla Cross. And because of that, that does actually mean your volume knob becomes these little volume buttons. Not a big deal or anything because the screen itself is going to be quite a bit larger this year. X trims will continue to have a JBL sound system as well. And then as far as our mirror is concerned, this is manual dimming, but it has a really nice looking frameless design. I like how premium they've made that look. We also have HomeLink remotes built into it. And then up top, we've got a interesting design for our headliner, kind of rugged looking. If I slide that back, you can see that we've got a standard size sunroof, which does open up.
And now let's check out the rear seat area when it comes to the Corolla Cross. For the refresh, this is not going to change as expected. So we're still sitting at some decent legroom figures. It's going to be about 32 inches of legroom is all here in the back and about 39 inches of headroom. Those are definitely on the smaller end for this segment. You can get a couple larger offerings. Now this seat is adjusted to Drew's 5'8" driving position. I don't have a lot of time with me today, so I forgot the ruler here, but I'm looking at probably 5 inches of additional knee space. The headroom is actually pretty good though for someone who's 5'9" like myself. If we fold down the center armrest, we have two cup holders inside, and then looking at the center area, of course not a ton of features, but we do have some. We have rear vents, which is a nice touch, and then down here in the lower area you have two USB-C ports, and that's going to be included on your upper end examples. Now over on the door trim, it's going to be hard touch from pretty much top to bottom. Your armrest portion though is going to be a nice leatherette, and then you have bottle storage right there in the front, but no lower area storage. Now, walking up to the cargo area, you will notice that this, higher end example does have a power tailgate. That's certainly not a given in this segment. And as far as the space is concerned, expect around 17 cubic feet of space behind the second row of seats. If we fold those seats down, about 44 cubic feet as a maximum. It's worth noting that is going to be maybe on the smaller end of this segment, but it's decent overall. It's going to be definitely enough for most people. And do note that those are not official 2026 figures. Those are the same as last year. Now, as far as features are concerned, we have a little bit of storage up underneath of here. You will not find a spare tire, so that's worth noting. And then the seats do fold 60-40 split, and there are not handles to do it from the cargo area.
Now we went ahead and popped the hood so that we can talk about what you find underneath of it. So like we mentioned throughout this review, you have both the traditional gas or ICE and you have a hybrid option. So let's talk about the power figures. 169 horsepower from a 2-liter 4-cylinder if you choose the traditional gas powered. That's reasonable for the segment, but obviously if you want the most power and the best fuel economy, you want to choose the hybrid. It bumps you up quite a lot. You're going to go to 196 total system horsepower from a 2-liter 4-cylinder and lithium-ion battery pack. This is the 5th gen of Toyota's hybrid setup. 0 to 60 on this one will be about 8 seconds. So none of them are going to be lightning fast, that's for sure, but this is the faster option. You either have a CVT or an eCVT, front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, although if you get the hybrid, it's all-wheel drive exclusive. And then we do actually have 2026 fuel economy, which is kind of surprising, but front-wheel drive gas models will be 32 combined, all-wheel drive 30 combined, and then we go for the hybrid all-wheel drive that jumps you up to 42 combined. So that's 12 mpg improvement over the all-wheel drive gas model.
Let's talk pricing and availability. So first of all, when it comes to pricing, we don't have those official 2026 numbers yet. However, you can see the 2025 lineup on the screen right now. We are not expecting a huge pricing increase, so I'd expect starting at around $28,000 to $29,000 for the hybrid model and the space trim, and fully loaded up maybe around $35,000. As far as availability, Toyota says this is coming later in 2025, so you won't have to wait too much longer to get one. Now, that's going to wrap up our first look review of this refreshed 2026 Toyota Corolla Cross. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, which we hope you did, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you're going to get the latest car reviews such as this, and you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We have a lot of fun, and we try and cover the latest vehicles on this channel. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.